Honestly, what could you expect from a cartoon with a completely childish trailer? I think nothing special. So I went to the cinema with absolutely no expectations, thanks to which I got an unforgettable experience. Because everyone knows that when you don't expect anything, you are sincerely surprised, like a child, at everything new and unusual. And lo and behold, it turned out to be a pearl hidden behind the mud of ill-conceived marketing. And what is no less surprising, I went to the cinema with the conviction that the cartoon was created more for a children's audience. But as it turned out, this was another marketing flaw because the film is suitable for everyone. I still think that it is just the same for an older audience, for those who are aware of themselves and can draw far-reaching conclusions, but this does not mean that the younger ones will not like it. Joe Gardner is a regular part-time teacher at the most ordinary school in New York City. He's finally offered a full-time job and Social Security, but he has a dream from a young age to become a musician. He plays jazz on the piano beautifully. You can say even masterly looking at his improvisations. And now, Joe gets a chance to play in the band of jazz legend Dorothea Williams. As Joe happily heads off to prepare for the show, he falls down a manhole. Joe finds himself as a soul heading into the great beyond. Unwilling to die before his big break, he tries to escape, but he does not succeed and he contacts a soul named 22. And now they have a lot to teach each other. By the way, the style of the animation and drawing is very interesting, such as psychedelic. It's more an abstraction vision of something otherworldly, something that is not given to us to recognize. For many centuries we have been wondering what is the meaning of life, what will happen next, where will it lead us? And the most interesting thing is that the picture leaves these questions open. Of course, on the big screen in the movie theater the animation looks more colorful and vibrant, but in the home viewing it does not give up positions either. The only thing I noticed was that I apparently misinterpreted some of the characters' facial expressions. It's fun. On close inspection, you will notice that the movements are a little jerky at some points. Perhaps it's due to the fact that in general the movements of the characters are fast and active. If you look at the graphics in the scenes, you can see that they are very close to photorealism, up to the moment when the character model enters the frame. But in any case, the picture is pleasing to the eye, and there is no need to deny it. The whole film is a philosophical discourse on the topic what life and purpose are. What is the essence of our life, our desires and dreams, especially when we do not succeed and it seems that our destiny is to be a failure, because all we succeed in is wasting our time in vain. But at the same time, the main characters find answers to these questions without looking for them. Joe wants to return to his life because he's convinced that it is his dream. He has almost reached it, his life has almost made sense. 22 just doesn't want to go to Earth because it's boring, dirty, and interesting there. It thinks that it already knows everything about Earth and about life, and sees no reason in learning more about what it is, and moreover, live it. By the way, oddly enough, the film is a typical body movie and does an excellent job of its role when telling a story. Watching it, I had a desire to live bright moments and most importantly, create them. Did you feel the same? And then make sure to write in the comments how you liked the movie and how it influenced you. It will be very interesting to know. So, during the narration, the cartoon tries to confuse us, try to make our brain think and the soul feel. Creates the illusion that spark is a destination, only one thing, something that is given to us from the very beginning and which we must follow. If a person is into the music, then he was given this from the above in advance. If an athlete, then his soul has chosen sport, etc. This is actually what our parents, teachers, and everyone else involved in our upbringing tell us. You can be anyone, they say, but choose one thing and become the best at it. And so our lives, we have been looking for this vocation, this purpose, but we can't find it. Or we do, but not that, or this, we simply cannot catch luck by the tail. And then we look back and understand that our life is a movement from point A to point B. Eternal subways, cars, taxis, bad breakfast, not enough sleep, constant setbacks, quarrels, and negative experiences with others or the world in general. And what purpose can be there? But then 22 enters the scene. A soul that knows so much about the earth but has never been there, Because 22 is soul, I'm gonna call it it. It gets into the life by force, but suddenly begins to notice things that are invisible to ordinary people. Sincerely admires every step, every falling petal. And a slice of pizza is generally a brain explosion. How wonderful everything is, how unusual it is. 22 show all this to Joe by its example, and he, without noticing it, begins to envy his own life. He yearns for her in a completely different way. He changes his perspective. The conflict between the characters happens just at the moment when Joe thinks that 22 wants to steal his life. It's not even the body, namely what Joe felt and experienced. 22 wants to live. It thinks that after returning to U Seminar, it will never be able to get to Earth and live this life again. Feel it. First of all, this is an appeal to the viewer, to his inner conflict, where it directly asks the question, what is the meaning of our life, or does it completely suit you? And 1,000 more questions that everyone have to answer to themselves. The movie literally screams like, hey dude, look away from your phone screen, take a look at your life. It is more than just endless work, looking at pictures on social networks. You are your memories, feelings. There will be a moment when your life will come to an end, or simply end abruptly. And you will regret it, you will grab onto it, or fear that you will never feel this way again. This is why you need to live, just live. This cartoon gives the best that the film can. It leaves many questions about life, but still answers one. How do you find all the answers? No matter how cliche it sounds, everyone should look for them for himself. Life is an eternal search, struggle, knowledge for oneself, one's inner world and outer, solving problems, the path to one's goals. Life is in ourselves and everything that surrounds us. What about the spark itself? It doesn't define us. We ourselves choose our passion, our goal in life. Nobody can do it for you. Only you alone decide. Freedom of choice at its fullest. Just look at Joe. He's a great teacher, but a musician at the same time. Why be one thing? Be it all at once. Feel the colors of its life. It's never too late to change everything, so live now. Not tomorrow, not since Monday, now. And of course, subscribe to my channel so you won't miss new videos. And put thumbs up.
Pizza. I can't smell. We can't taste either?
All that stuff is in your body.
No smell, no taste.
Or touch. See?